I wrote down some notes when I was here the other night. I drank too much because you kept giving me whiskey, and I want to talk about whiskey in a minute, actually. But I wrote down some notes just because we were having some funny conversations. And I looked at it the next day and I was like, what the So
Must have got this wrong.
yeah, it's like, did I just imagine this? So 3 things. Cat shit herb.
Yes.
A drink made out of an entire cow.
Yes.
And Chernobyl inspired.
All 3 are hits. Yes. Your notes are accurate. Not the ramblings of a drunkard.
I mean, whatever order you want to do this.
Well, we referenced the Chernobyl, so we can maybe go back to that one. It was inspired by the Red Forest around Chernobyl, and this, and as a biologist, I was just fascinated by this because if you would ask me to predict what would be happening in Chernobyl, you either think crazy grade mutations, which there are a smattering of. I mean, there's a fungus that thrives off radiation, which is fascinating.
Yeah, I've heard about that, yeah.
But you're not seeing
Does it eat up radiation? I mean, that doesn't sound like it's possible, but is it in some way useful?
What it's doing.
Yeah, so it can deradiate radiation zones, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Which again, amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's to be able to see where life finds a way.
I mean, fungi are just amazing anyway,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So,
And rapid in their ways to exploit different situations.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument that actually they're the ones that are ruling the world, not us, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing five-legged deer. And one of the things that's happening is both the trees have survived. That's insane. They have turned red, which is hence the name the Red Forest. But there are different things, and it's that sequence of events that you needed the huge exposure of radiation to allow A creature to thrive. That allowed B, C, and so kind of further on.
Yes.
So we wanted to go, well, how can we mirror that as an idea? How can we set up a unique set of conditions and then allow a kind of cascade of events to kind of tee up the next part of it? And we tried different situations, and we researched what do they kind of produce as byproducts? What does that allow it to kind of then set up to kind of pitch these different points? I mean, obviously, we're not just letting it naturally propagate. We are kind of seeding these things in, but because they've been set up by the thing that came before them, they thrive in a different way and open up different products. The first one we did was a blackberry ferment because it was kind of talking to the forest aspect.
Yeah.
And the flavors that came out of this were wild. Like it was kind of green and kind of piney. It had this kind of wonderful spice note. It didn't taste the blackberries.
How did you ferment it?
This is definitely an Adrian Ford Beggs question because it was the initial one was acidophilus, but then it was 5 different microbes in a sequence as a result.
So it's okay, we don't need to know all 5. So so you do one microbe, you let it do its thing, and then you go at it with another one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And it outcompetes, and then you allow it to kind of.
What's the process of that like? Encouraging one to outcompete the other. Do you have to pasteurize it in between? Or
no, it's
like
kind of like amount of pitch.
Right. Okay.
And I don't think we added any other kind of like nutrient boosters to kind of do it. I actually probably should kind of get more of a kind of breakdown of it because it would be fascinating to understand exactly what is kind of allowing each of those things to kind of thrive. But it was objectively different to had we did a control of just pitch all 5 at once and
see who wins.
Yeah, and it just did not taste at all. It was wholly different.